Otra video para ti hoy. Este es Ron con inetcomputers.com or day inetcomputers.com, whatever's grammatically correct in Espanol. I'm going to show you in this video how to perform a Windows file integrity check. If you notice your microcrap, microslop, Winblows machine, whether that be Windows XP, Vista 7, 8, or 10, is just not quite functioning correctly. Just certain functions don't work, and once in a while it crashes. Besides running a check disk command, which I made a separate video for that on my YouTube channel that you can look up, and I wrote a separate blog post on my website inetcomputers.com that you can check, pun intended, on that. There's also system file check, SFC Scan. Anybody can kick it off. There are no excuses. Your computer is just another type of technology, and you should be performing computer maintenance. There are no excuses, and you should be backing up your data. You're lucky that there are individuals like myself that know how to restore data, and we know how to troubleshoot computers, and we know how to reinstall operating systems, and blah 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 blah. But there's plenty of opportunity for you to learn on how to perform your own computer maintenance. And don't blame other people when your computer fails and then you didn't back up your data. That's nobody else's fault. Windows file integrity check with SFC Scan now. This is an old school command. I know it exists at least back to Windows. I would say probably Windows 10. If you still have Windows 10, I don't know how many people have Windows 10, but I know there is a percentage of users that still use Windows XP. You can kick off this command real easily. You can check out my blog post at my website inetcomputers.com that is linked in this video description if you prefer text, written instructions. I guess looks like WordPress added this quotation when you quote a... Anyways, I just noticed the quotations didn't exist before. Anyways, alright, whatever. Okay, that's neat. Okay, move on. So I'm going to demonstrate on 3 operating systems. Winblows or Windows, however you label it. Microsoft Windows not XP, Vista 7, and Windows 10. So which one shall I choose first? How about Windows 10? How about just Windows 10? And we'll go backwards. So first you want to run this command in a command prompt with administrative privileges. So I will just transition so that you can see what I'm about to perform. So right click the start menu button, Windows 10, choose command prompt with admin. You have to have admin rights, otherwise you cannot run this command. Say yes at a user account control pop-up window. Then you're going to get taken to this command window, command prompt with the blink. The blink. Now on Windows 10, you are required to run one additional command beforehand. So let's go back to my blog post and I will show you what that command is. I'm not sure why they added this, but they did. dism.exe space / online with a capital O space / cleanup - image with a capital C. I think it is case sensitive, but you could test that out. Space / restore health with a capital R. I'm just going to copy and paste. And then, yeah, that'll work. Then in the command prompt window, just right click and then hit enter. I'm not sure how long this test, I'm not sure. I don't use this tool that often. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick off the SFC Scan on Windows 7 now, and also Vista. Now on Windows 7, I have to transition correctly. Windows 7, as you can see on screen. Let me put it in full screen mode. On Windows 7, you do not have to run that DSIM command because it does not exist. That is something new to, I think, Windows 8. I do not have Windows XP or Windows 8 to demonstrate, but just read my blog. The instructions are there. Caveat emptor. Windows 8 8.1 Windows 10, you are supposed to run the DSIM tool command first, and then you run the SFC scan. But I think you could probably just kick off the SFC scan. I know you can kick it off by itself too, but Microsoft recommends that you run the DSIM tool first and then the SFC scan, and it's in my blog post. So we are on Windows 7, same thing. Click your start button, only it's a little bit different, and then all programs, and then accessories, and then right click command prompt, and then select run as administrator. On all versions of Windows, you have to have administrative rights in order to run an SFC scan. Same thing. I'm not going to run the DSM scan, but this is an easy command to remember. SFC as in SF as in the San Francisco 49ers that have a terrible defense, but their offense looks a little bit better. They still lost to the Rams, but who gives a fuck about breads and circuses? But I'm just saying. And I am a fan of Colin Kaepernick. If you are offended by my free speech, I am a fan of Colin Kaepernick. I will leave it at that. Nothing Colin Kaepernick ever said, or the fact that he knelt down before the stupid national anthem. I'm not a nationalist. That did not offend me at all. I'm a huge fan of Colin Kaepernick. He should I'm getting distracted. I just came out from outside. He should still be playing in the NFL. Who gives a shit about his whatever else, his after hours activities? All right. Space /scan now. That's it. That's all you have to type in. Hit enter. Now you're going to see when it kicks off, beginning system scan. This process will take some time. Beginning verification phase of system scan, and it updates itself. It's counting. You want to allow this scan to complete and complete itself at 100%. So now we're going to go to Windows Vista, and it depends on the size of your hard drive. It depends on the health of your computer, just certain computer variables, how long it's going to take, but it can take a while, especially on a system that has a lot of corrupt files or a system that's not very healthy. Now we shall transition to Windows Vista. We'll go backwards even more in time. Maybe back when, if Colin Kaepernick would have knelt down, nobody would have cared, or, well, I'm not being condescending towards him. It wouldn't have created such a stir, because that's what they did back in the day. Remember the 1960s during the Civil Rights Movement? Give me a fucking break. All right, so I'm going to maximize. This is Vista, Windows Vista. Same thing. Start button, and then, let's see, programs, and accessories, and then right-click the command prompt, and then select Run as Administrator, click Continue. Let me maximize this for you so that it's easier for you to see. I think if I choose the 12 by 16. There we go. And I will maximize it there. It should be easier for you to see. Same thing. DSIM did not exist back when Windows Vista was, still released as a new operating system. So you don't have to worry about that. Same thing. SFC San Francisco, San Francisco 49ers lost a heartbreaker. Oh, it was the extra point. I've watched the NFL. Well, I very rarely watch it now, but back in the day I used to watch almost every televised NFL game. I'm not Nostradamus, but pattern recognition, I knew that extra point that they botched, that the kicker missed, would come back to haunt them. And guess what? They went for the 2-point conversion, I think around the 2-minute mark, and they turned it over. But on a 2-point conversion, you can fumble it or interception, it doesn't matter. You still have to kick off, but you also have to kick off like at the 35-yard line, and you have to put it on the tee or whatever, or no, you have to punt it, or I don't know, whatever the fuck they are, whatever the rules are. But I was like, oh fuck, they missed the extra point, even though they were. Anyways, I'm digressing. So San Francisco chokes. I don't give a shit about breads and circuses. That's why I make jokes about the NFL, because it is a joke. The joke is on you. You're so preoccupied living vicariously through $1 million players that play a child's game, but you don't care about your own. You don't care about your own computer health. You don't care about the health of your own computer that earns you money. SFC /Scannow. Hit enter. Same thing. It just depends on the speed of the computer, the health of the hard drive, if you have a lot of corrupt Windows system files. So as these scans are running, let me talk about some of the, like, idiosyncrasies. So that one, let me look, that one is 6%. Yeah, it's going to take a little while. Windows 10, let me show you that. Let's see if we can, the DSIM command is running. Is it done yet? Let's see. Now it's only 55%. Okay. Now I'm going to talk a little bit for now, and I'm going to complete the video. I'm going to wait until Windows 10 is finished. In my opinion, that will finish first. Well, actually, it might not. It might not. Anyways, let's go over some tips that are in my blog post. Now, this is very important. Windows System File Check, which is what that acronym stands for, and then Scan Now, it only scans for problems with Windows system files. Hence when you use computer logic, it helps you with language logic, although the English language at times really isn't logical to me, but whatever. But it can help. Acronyms are not an accident. I do not like acronyms. I prefer complete sentences, complete phrases, complete, just tell me what the SFC, what do you mean the San Francisco 49ers choked, or I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But it makes logical sense. System file check. SFC, which is a process, which is an executable, it only scans for corrupt and missing system files, Windows system files. It does not care about your pornography. It does not care about your phone number list of the hoochies that you are trying to, conquer as a young male or even an older male. It does not care about your Ashley Madison account information as you continue to cheat on your spouse and has a, myriad of mistresses on the side. It does not care about whatever it is that you Americans, it does not care about your NFL football, your, what's that bullshit, your statistics, or what's that game that you can play. Anyways, I very rarely watch the NFL. I don't give a shit about sports. Whatever nefarious activities that most of you Americans are perpetrating on each other, it does not care about your Google searches as you want to exact revenge on your neighbor or your own wife or your children, because whatever it is that you Americans, you keep killing each other. The police keep killing innocent Americans. System file check does not care about serious issues. It only cares in the abstract about your Windows system files. That's it. It does not care about your documents, your images, your videos. It only cares about Windows system files. It does not care about other programs. It does not care about Microsoft Office files. It does not care about Adobe Flash Player. It does not care about Mozilla Firefox web browser. It only cares about system files, and it checks them, and it tries to detect whether or not they're corrupt or not, or even missing. And believe it or not, you can have a wind blows machine, microcrap, and it acts funny, or certain functions don't work. You're like, what the fuck? I just kicked off a check disk and it doesn't work. Or, well, how come, calculator doesn't work anymore, or whatever the system files are. They can become missing because of maybe malware, or, you know what I'm saying? Or they can become corrupt. And then this scan will try to detect which files have become corrupt or missing, and it will replace them with good known system files. This is part of, as a computer repair technician, I always run an SFC scan. When a customer brings me a computer and they complain about slowness or viruses or malware or spyware, and believe it or not, a tune-up, I almost always, if I have enough time, if I get backlogged or the customer is calling, which most of my customers don't really bother me, but once in a while you get one that gets a bit, you know, that cliche, you know, promise very little but produce very, you know, a lot, or whatever that dumb cliche is. I don't promise my customers much, but I try to overproduce. Promise very little but overproduce. And here's another tip. I found out on multiple websites that if you run the SFC scan once, it just doesn't cut it sometimes. If you run it 2 or 3 times, then on the second or third run, it actually will find missing files or corrupt system files. So that's a tip. I would run it 3 times. And then this should be part of your regular maintenance. You just don't know. Not every week, not every day, maybe not even every month, but every couple of months, as you kick off your check disk scans that should be part of your computer maintenance, kick off a system file check scan. It doesn't hurt anything. All it does is scan like this. Okay, that's 100% done. Now I'm going to kick off the SFC scan on Windows 10. Now, I don't know for a fact. I don't know. I haven't used the DISM tool that much, so I just don't know. It's new to Windows 8 and Windows 10. I don't know if running this multiple times helps or not. I just don't know. I'd have to look into that. SFC, the command is the same, I think, all the way back to Windows 10, but I know for a fact Windows XP, Vista 7, 8, and 10, it's the same command. And then /Scannow. And you're going to get the same response. Beginning system scan. This process will take some time. Beginning verification phase of system scan. And then it's going to count. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. The quarterback just got sacked because the offensive line sucks or whatever. Okay, so that's at 2%. Let's check my other machines. I can show you those too. One's at 76%. I'm only going to show one run, because you know what I'm saying. So this is Vista, and it's at 78%, and we'll find out. I will show you what the output is. It should at least say, they might error out too, and that's another problem. If it errors out, you know, that could be an indication that there's bigger problems on your computer. You might want to run a check disk, or you never know, viruses and malware can definitely target your system files, which SFC Scan, ironically enough, it is a system file. It's an executable too. Okay, so let's show you Windows 7. Here's Windows 7. That one's at 85% complete. I kicked off that one first, so that makes sense to me. But it depends on your hardware. The Windows 7 machine I have is a quad core. The Windows Vista machine is a dual core. They both have, one has, I think the Windows 7 has 6 gigs of RAM. The Windows Vista only, I think, has 4, because I think that's all that the motherboard, believe it or not, will support. It's an older Dell D530, but it runs just fine. It's just my file server. I don't need a fucking, you know, Xenon processor and the latest and greatest for just, you know, a file server, because it's just my little computer repair business. Okay, so that one, I'm waiting for one of these to complete so I can show you. Oh, this one completed first, because I'm pretty sure that this is, yeah, this is the Windows 7 machine. Let me make sure I have the right one selected. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm looking at another monitor, and I've got a window outside, so if you ever wonder why I look down a lot, or why I look that way a lot, even with my like this is because I've got a window and I like to look outside. And then I have a second monitor that's just my second monitor, so for my encoding software, which is OBS Studio. Okay, so as you can see, Windows Resource Protection did not find any integrity violations. And then verification 100% complete. This is normal. You should see this. There could be times when you get an error. And I can show you Microsoft's page real quick. But I'm not going to go into any of the troubleshooting because that could, I could be here for hours, But you should see this. It should say 100% complete, and then it should say, it'll either tell you it found integrity violations and that it could or could not fix them. If it tells you that it could not fix them, I would definitely run the scan a second time. I would run the scan until it fixes those violations, but I would say anything over 3, probably a waste of time. You don't need to run it 100 times. If it finds integrity violations and it cannot fix them, that could be a sign that there's further problems on your computer, and you might want to run a checklist because it could be possible that there are some bad sectors. And so it's trying to fix those integrity violations, which are either corrupt Windows system files or missing Windows system files, but it could be that there's bad sectors and the data is on a bad sector and the data is no good anymore, or whatever it is. You can also run, now here's another tip that might save you some time. You cannot, and then let me show you Vista. It should be done by now. Yes, it's done. You see how it's the exact same printout? Verification 100% complete. Windows Resource Protection did not find any integrity violations. It's the exact same verbiage too. So again, Windows Vista, to me it doesn't matter. XP, Vista 7, 8, 10. It's almost the exact same command. I don't even know if they've even upgraded it. I just don't know that. The verbiage is almost the same, or at times it is the same, and you'll get, Another tip I would say is, I guess I'll wait for Windows 10 to finish. I was not going to wait for Windows 10 to finish, but you know what? I'll just hang out because I think there's a couple of other things I want to go through. Whoops, I don't want that. This is I've noticed it depends on the size of the hard drive and the condition of the hard drive, but Windows 10, it still takes a while to run. It does. Okay, so we've got a little while. Back to my blog post. Let me go back to my blog post. Okay, let's check out Microsoft's website really quick. I linked to it because that's how I roll. I try to link directly to the source for you, but I still get trolls that attack me, and well, fuck them. Use the System File Checker tool to repair missing or corrupted. Now, what I want to show you is what happens after the process is finished. You may receive one of the following messages. Windows Resource Protection did not find any integrity violations. This means that you do not have any missing or corrupted system files. However, I recommend you run this 3 times because I've read it on multiple websites and I think it's true. And it's just like anything else. Sometimes you have to run a malware scan more than once, or even an antivirus scan more than once. Computers aren't perfect. Or sometimes you have to use a combination of antivirus software, because believe it or not, sometimes sometimes super anti-spyware will find malware objects that Malwarebytes won't, and sometimes Combo Fix will find objects that neither of the aforementioned will. Another message you might receive is Windows Resource Protection could not perform the requested operation. And then they recommend that you run this in safe mode, which I recommend you do that, but Windows 8 and Windows 10, the buffoons at Microsoft decided to take away the easy way of accessing safe mode, and I need to make that. I have a lot of videos I need to make. That's another video I need to make, is to show you how to kick off how to boot into Windows Safe Mode on Windows 8 and Windows 10. Microcrap, Microslop, they disabled the F8 functionality, but you can re-enable it so it works like it used to. There's I think there's like 3 separate ways. One of them is just so fucking dumb. You have to go into the system, the settings, and then go to blah blah blah, and then you got to kick it off, and then but you have to reboot the computer, and then it's just, oh my god. So if for whatever reason it doesn't run, there's a tip to, I'm not going to go into the troubleshooting because that'll take too long, but it's on this page. Now here's another message you might receive. Windows Resource Protection found corrupt files but was unable to fix some of them. The keyword some. There's a log file you can check out, and there's a process that you can fix the corrupted files manually. What that will do is it's basically doing the same thing that the program is supposed to fucking do. This is automation. This sfc.exe is supposed to copy, is supposed to replace the, in quotes, corrupt or missing system files with good ones. But Windows is not perfect. Windows 10 is not perfect. The developers at Microsoft are not perfect. Microsoft is not a perfect corporation. To me, it's on my top 10 list of fascist corporations in America. If you're offended by that, I just don't fucking care. I'm not politically correct. I don't kiss people's ass, and I don't kiss corporations' ass, and I don't kiss the government's ass. I don't kiss the police, their ass, and I don't kiss the military's ass. I don't kiss ass. It shows you how to view the log file, and it shows you how to possibly fix. I'm not going to get into that because that can just, it's not just this support document for Microsoft. That can get very convoluted and complex. If you watch this video and you run into problems, just leave a comment or leave a question, and I'll try to help you out. I just wanted to show you how to run an SFC scan. Anybody can do it. It's easy. All you do is go into the control panel with administrative rights, and then you just type in the command. On Windows 10, you have to type in the DISM command, but I included it in my blog post. So really all you have to do is copy and paste DISM. And then same thing with SFC Scan. You can literally copy and paste. And now WordPress has they added quotations. Isn't that sexy, Aaron? Don't criticize, Aaron. Stop criticizing Microsoft. They're perfect, Aaron. God damn it. Okay, let's check out. Windows 10 should be done by now. Nope, it's at 60%. See? It's at 60%. Should I wait for 40%? How long is this video? Oh, I'm already at the half-hour mark. I am already at the 30-minute mark. I try to keep my videos around 30 minutes, actually, so that I can upload them to other platforms like VidMe. VidMe, for now, has a 30-minute limit. So, you know what? It should be the same. I know I don't have problems. Well, I do have problems with Windows 10 on my... But here, I'll show you one of them. Nobody believes me. Most of the other YouTubers kiss Microsoft's ass, and they talk it up and tell you how great it is. Well, then how come when I try to start Microsoft Edge, how come it does not work? See, this is what happens. My Microsoft Edge has been broken since the anniversary update in August of 2016. I just haven't gotten around to fixing it. I don't even know if I can fix it. See, it tries to start and then it crashes. So I'm going to run. Oh, I need to quickly run because I can't be over the 30-minute mark and upload to VidMe. Windows file integrity check with SFC Scan now. Adios.